made a good choice clicking on this video. Because, how to identify Muladhara? See, Muladhara is, something in Hindu tradition about the chakras. Like, it's seeing, like, the chakras are all just different, like, spheres of consciousness, they call them, because you have energy in your spine. It's like flowing throughout your body. But, for each chakra, it could, kind of make that one specific chakra more active than all the others. Or kind of wells up in one sometimes. And you have maybe a block in one, and we had to focus on one thing. Like, all those circle flower things on my wall you see back there, those are the, 8 main chakras. Yeah. They're Muladhara, Svadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara. So, that's like going up, down, up. So, like, Muladhara would be kind of the very base of the spine, kind of around the genitals region. So I think most Americans, at least, are, their consciousness is based on at Muladhara, or they could be at Svadhisthana, or probably one of the lower chakras, like one of the lower 3, Manipura, Svadhisthana, or Muladhara. But how do I identify it in people? Because, I guess these Hindus or people who meditate, like, they talk about the chakras, but you don't really know what those are. Like, they have this kind of nebulous meaning, but I'm going to tell you what they are. So, there are different states of thinking. You can see them in people when they're, through different jobs. I think people who have different chakras more active than others, they just work different jobs because they're thinking about different things. They have different interests. So I think there's someone who gets a lot of premonitions, or like, I don't know, they dream a lot, or like they're thinking about all this stuff that most people don't think about. Like, they're like me, where they do origami, or like they write down all these sigils, or I know, positive daily affirmations, or they, do a lot of sports, like, or they do mind intensive workouts, like mind workouts, like I do juggling. I like to roll it back and forth, like, because I know I'm not good enough for like real juggling with 3 balls, but this is gonna work the brain, and it's just part of like being human. Whatever. And also they play an instrument, I think, so that's gonna tell you that one of the higher chakras, like maybe Sahasrara, or is more active. Because once you've gone through a Kundalini awakening, like me, where you've broken out of the 3 lower chakras, and your center of focus is like up here, above your belly, or whatever, of your stomach. You start thinking about like health things, really, about health, about not always doing the same things, getting out of routine, because that's not life. Start to look at try to diversify with all that you do. Because, when you get lopsided, just do the same thing every day, then you forget stuff, and that's bad. How do I identify Muladhara? what you clicked on this video for. So I'm gonna explain that by telling you a story about when I was back in high school. It was my senior year that I was taking gym, and it happened to be a day when we were it was a 2-hour early dismissal, and I was in the habit of like using my left hand to open my locker because, you know, I just think like in the Eastern philosophies they say your left hand is just as important as your right, and in the West our society's kind of all based on the right, so if you start trying to maybe write with your left hand or just do things with your left hand, that's kind of, it's good because you're using the other side of your brain. So I told my friend when we were in the gym locker room, like I challenged him, like, I bet you can't open it with your left hand, because I knew he was someone who isn't interested in that. But as soon as he was like, Mike, I was able to do it with my left hand, I got it, I was proud of him. And then he said, when I told him I used my left hand to open my locker, he was like, do you use your left hand to masturbate? And I was like, no, I don't really masturbate. I do other things like meditate, or do qigong, or yoga, or exercise, or work out, or meditate a lot, or play soccer, or juggle, or something about these other things, not just like reproduction of like masturbation, not just. Or later when I asked him, what's your favorite thing to do when you get home from a 2-hour dismissal? Because like I was planning to go home and play soccer, like by myself, because it's fun. Like this other kid, black student who was overheard us. He was walking kind of with us to the gym. He heard me ask my friend, what's your favorite thing to do when you get home on a 2-hour dismissal? He said, go home, beat your meat, as a joke, kind of, but so no, I'm not always, when Muladhara people are the ones who are always thinking about that sexual stuff, or like, I don't know, food, or, because when you're not Muladhara, you start thinking about your health, like, so people who are at Muladhara, one, I think if you eat meat, like, that's kind of an indication that you're just at Muladhara. Because, I mean, if you're not at Muladhara, you start recognizing all these things that are, like, just unnecessary. Like, eating meat, it's unnecessary. Like, really, if you going gluten-free, like, there's some, if you ask for gluten-free at a restaurant, you start to recognize, well, one, I should get the word out there that gluten, even though it might only be for people with celiac disease who, like, it's life-threatening if they eat gluten, but then there are the people who just kind of do it for whatever reason, because, I don't know, they think it's better, because, I don't know, they got these bad diets or whatever. Now, the thing about gluten-free is actually, like, for some people, they do have a gluten intolerance. It is, or they're just sensitive to these pesticides that farmers use, like Roundup. But, there's also a thing about gluten, it does have negative effects in the body, like, it leads to gut permeability and, bloating, and, you can look it up. There have been studies where gluten actually causes a lot of, in some cases it could be neurotoxic, so, you know, there's just less inflammation when you get rid of gluten, because gluten causes inflammation, and gluten has all these adverse effects that you don't even realize because you're just used to it. But once you cut it out, then you realize, like, go gluten free for a week, and you'll realize it was causing all these bad things. So yeah, because when you're at a restaurant and you tell people you're ordering a gluten free thing, and they tell you it's unnecessary unless you have celiac disease, then you could say, well, eating meat's unnecessary, eating ice cream's unnecessary, drinking alcohol is unnecessary, gambling's unnecessary. People do a lot of unnecessary things, but they still do them. So I'm gonna go gluten free because I like it. Like, it's unnecessary to move to a new country, but you do these things because you like them, not because they're necessary, because they're fun. Like, it was unnecessary for me to wear that hat all those days, or wear this neck gaiter, or you'd say a lot of things are unnecessary, but do these things because we like them. Like, it's unnecessary for me to post all these like paper craft things to my wall, but they're just decoration. Like, they look nice. I like them. I enjoy having them there. It's unnecessary to stand outside exercising, doing like Tai Chi or whatever, or to walk your dog, but well, one, it's good for your dog because then they get exercise and you get exercise. Like I think the thing about how people who own dogs tend to live longer, no, that's because you took care of your dog. It's not just because of the dog, it's because you get exercise from taking care of your dog. That's also how people who garden, people who spend like 3 hours gardening, have a lower chance of death because, they get exercise. Just being outside, it's good for you. For walking, it's good for mental health. Or, like, I don't know how many dog owners do this, but earthing, which is walking outside barefoot, which is good for you. Playing fetch with your dog is good for you. So earthing is just having your bare skin touch the earth. Like, you could just be holding onto a tree, and that's gonna protect you from EMFs and reduce inflammation, and it's just really a lot healthier because you'll have better quality sleep, and your spine, it'll improve your posture. So I guess people who you see doing these weird things like holding onto trees, they're thinking about their health. Like, they have a lot of awareness, so maybe their center of attention is like somewhere around Sahasrara up top of your skull. So like, it's farther away from Muladhara. I think vegans are people who have maybe at Sahasrara or who have higher attention in their chakras. Like, because Muladhara is associated with kind of just bare basic being able to survive, and or maybe you're focused on your rent, like paying rent, or like, I don't know, taxes, or because when you don't worry about these things, then they just kind of like, part of what Taoism is it's doing through not doing. So when you don't think about these things, just do them naturally without thinking about them. Because, like, a watch pot never boils. Because when you don't think about them, then they just happen automatically. So, maybe if you meditate, that'll start figuring out this whole chakra system thing. Muladhara is just one of the chakras, so maybe if you want to learn more about it, just start looking more at the chakras. It's associated with the color red because in the rainbow, the color red is like it's the first color it has the lowest energy. It's actually a part of science. I learned in astronomy that through the color spectrum, red has the least energy. Like radio waves have the longest wavelength because I think that's what red is. Like it has the lowest wavelength from the longest wavelength. So it means it's not very energetic. That's why the color of the mystics is purple. That's why, like, I have this amethyst I'm wearing. Because purple is color of the mystics. That's why, the chakras correspond with the rainbow, like Roy G. Biv. So blue, indigo, and violet are higher, they have more energy. They have higher vibration. They're better for you. So maybe you should start painting your all purple or whatever. Oh, another way to identify people who are at Sahasrara or not just at Muladhara. They do art. They paint a lot, or like you would say painting is a form of meditation, and this video is already long enough, so I'm gonna end it here, but start thinking about it, guys. Muladhara, meditation, yeah.